So, hello everyone. As you can see, I'm still rooting into the game. It's mostly because I'm mostly because I started preparing this a little bit late. Sorry guys. So as I said, actually there's three people watching the stream. Feel free to talk in the chat. I always love it when people talk in the chat. It makes things sound a lot more lively and less like me talking to myself for a long time, which is not really how this works. So as I said, today I'm just going to be a couple of flights around Phuket, the classics. But I'm going to be on the multiplayer server. And right now, I'm at Phuket on MP server 01. So if you want to appear on my screen or something like that, feel free to log in. I'm live on a network. FGCom has not been working for a while, so no text chat. So sorry, I mean no voice chat, but text chat is going to be absolutely okay. Like I said, this is like a casual live stream, so I'm just going to turn on some background music to help me with. Just tell me if it gets too loud. I actually can't. I actually can't tell. I really don't want it to make it too loud right now. So let's get started. First thing I always do when I start FlightGear is just to pan around because sometimes that makes it load extra. Because that makes it load extra stuff. Ooh. Okay, don't think I still have to wait for the nightly for that one. Okay. This roll looks about right. Let's use this. Time for takeoff. Oh. Yeah, sometimes it's flooded like that. It's generally good practice to leave it running for a while before like pushing it up. Saw everyone left. Hurry to open your instances. Oops. Actually, I'm surprised that road to my left just got generated. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the worldwide generation isn't like strong enough to make that happen, so that I guess I accidentally turned on the extra roads from the old ones, which might get me trouble later on. Yeah, circling in Phuket is to the north only, so I'm going to go over there. That's supposed to be like 100 knots this early. Right, so let's turn left off the coast. Don't need to step on a ball this time. There we go. I think 1500 feet. Okay, we did everything way faster than we should. We're at 1500. Let's go in this altitude for a while. Oops. Those are totally not intended. Right, so now we're turn left time. It's probably run right here. Can you check that I'm actually parallel to the runway? I'm actually accidentally turning a little bit. So once I beam the numbers, I might need to start like reducing my speed. And also generally, I think I've heard that I should start turning left back to base when, what's called a base leg, when I'm, okay, so I'm gonna beam the numbers. So by the time I'm like 45 degrees to the runway, I should start turning left and ascending. This is an especially weird phase because I'm like over water. That's new. Generally, that doesn't result in anything. Whoops. Oh, so that's why. Abort. Zero people watching. Yeah. That's gonna be a new low for sure. Well, if that's not an unintended accident, I don't know what is. Hope this thing doesn't like end up on air crash investigations because I run into the ground right on this one. Yeah, so... Oh. Yeah, this angle sucks. Actually means that I need to pitch up pretty high to get my speed into the correct place, which is not great. Yeah, so the answer to the question of why I didn't do something a lot more like exciting for New Year's, it's because as I said, I have a lot more stuff to do, way too much more stuff, and this is about the thing that wastes the less time. And I mean, there's at least someone who like messages me on Discord that says that he wants to do some flight training, and even that's not coming. So yeah. Yeah, it's mostly because I have a lot of stuff to do right around this moment and about until the end of January. So I think the next video is, or video, quote unquote, is still going to be something like a live stream. And the schedule will probably resume in the next one. So yeah, right now we're way too high in energy. The runway is long, so we might actually have a chance of recovery back on the long end, but yeah, we'll have to get on that first. After all, this is an accident flight by my standards. Wait, really? Oh, okay, that was why. Oh, hello, that was an AI plane. Okay. And so, off. Oops. There we go. Bad landing 624. Yeah, that stall didn't help me at all. Turn off runway for now and get the plane fixed and then come back. At least the engine works. And I overran a target. Okay, fine. Fine. Yeah, it looks like that didn't run properly. Now let's exit the runway first. Yeah, I thought there's no damage, but the wing is still down. Let's just do that. And maybe come back somewhere. Hi. Oh, parking brake. Now, I heard that a lot of people just prefer this ever so slightly pulled up view. Thinking because it gives a way better view over the nose. Oh, hi, Charles. You're like the first person besides for me to like comment on this, take a shot on this video. So how's it going? If you are aware, it's going to be like a 20-second delay fundamental because I'm using YouTube's normal streaming mode, which buffers things a lot. I love Flight. We all do, of course. Like, we all have our own reasons for, you know, not joining the FS 2020 crowd and occasionally coming back here. For me, it's because there is actually a strict no game buying policy on my family, so that's the main reason why FlightGear has been a thing for a while. Hi, Ends. How long has it been to stream? Like 15 minutes? Sorry. Oh, it's Dash. So yeah, probably 4 remaining in the pattern. Man, you're so under. I mean, yeah, the sub count is starting sort of like going down for a while. No, not going down, of course. I mean, not going up as fast as they used to. So I guess I kind of half expected this with a niche topic like FlightGear. You mean, no, niche topics stuff is always, you know, they always don't get a lot of this stuff. Like, my favorite channel, Technology Connections, they don't get a hand on Linux tech tips. At least, or so I think. You know, that kind of stuff. Niche topics always get a little bit less than the mainstream. And they're always going to seem kind of underrated because, you know, that. This is sort of another pattern, this time from 09, which is probably what it was in an original. Okay. That's if you get a time and go break, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Like, you know, the first time I got excited about this channel was when a video seriously? Crossed a like 300 views. Like, that was a big bar for me. And that was back in like the early days of the channel where the Thai series is the only one that exists. Right now, like, the most popular one is, I think, over 10,000. And I think it's the... It's weird. Oh, Flaps. That's why we have checklist people. People always forget stuff and then it impacts performance or get them to crash somewhere. So that's why checklists exist and you need to follow them. Like, you know, I think I... Oh, damn. Where are you flying Aviation 3 or 4L? Right now I'm at Phuket, which is VTSP, Victor Tango Sierra Papa, in the same. And also, I'm for all of you who don't know, I'm on the multiplier network right now, so you guys can join in and like appear on my screen. Oh, but no, one found. Send me the server. It's MP server 01. Yeah, and yeah, the background music needs to be turned down. Something that's always annoying for me personally is that the NCS tracks, they like have the most what is it called again? Okay, so if you take a look at the waveform of those tracks, they probably depend on a compressor a lot, so they like max out the waveform as just a rectangle basically. So that means that if you set it to the same volume and play it along with other tracks, especially me, which is very polite with the waveform, it's going to be pretty loud. And that makes controlling volume almost impossible. That always happens when I try to do things at this view for way too long. Time to turn. You know, I only expected this stream to last like for 30 minutes, but I think it's going to be longer. What map are you on? Okay, so basically you start up FlightGear at VTSP, Phuket International, Victor Tango Sierra Papa, and then you join the MP network and select the server as MP001 in Frankfurt. So as long as you do that, it should appear on my screen and on the MP map. Should go better at this point. Oh, I'm way too high too. Let's just go out a little bit more. And then turn. Oh, okay. So to change the airport, you go back to the launcher, go to the airport tab, and then you type in the search box Phuket or VTSP. Yeah, because Keflavik is the default airport as shown in my video. So if you want to fly elsewhere, you have to change it in the launcher. I mean, you can change it in the sim, but it causes a reload and has some memory issues. So the proper way to do it is to do it from the launcher if you actually want to fly somewhere else. But if you just want to change places, then in sim is okay. Okay, I need to be careful with my altitude here. Come on. Come on, get down to 80 already. Yeah, sometimes it surprises me with some of the things that people are not able to figure out. Mostly because I'm actually fairly computer literate. I'm not that old. And I do use Linux, so that tells you something. So I might miss some things that I consider obvious, but some people around here may not. Yeah, that it's gonna be a while. We'll throttle up a bit. It's about time to start slowly turning here. Good with planes, but not on the mechanics of airports by Brixton ends. Yeah, computer literacy is a thing, and if you haven't been in contact with old people who need to use tech, I don't think you know what I mean by that. You know, there's this like really old time where you pretty much have to be able to code a bit to be able to use a computer, unless you're just like playing some games on a cartridge and letting your parent plug them in or whatever. That time's long gone now because everyone's on GUIs. And programming became something that kind of can be described as a job, so we're kind of I'm not sure if it's things getting more accessible or things getting backwards in this case. I don't have the data on that, and sure, a lot of people are going to look on this kind of stuff with like rose tinted glasses. Well, I'm way too high on energy right now. Make some butter. Might be a bit hard considering like you look at speed and altitude. This runway is long, so I don't think this is go around material, but it gets pretty close. Also, this thing is so hectic, I forgot to turn on flaps too. Not so butter, but still pretty good. Pretty good landing -182. Let's get going again. This is, whoops, what people do in flight training all the time, which is like to stop on to touch down on the runway and then take off again. Track flaps. That was a bit too hectic, so you're supposed to like retract the pass the instant you touch the ground, but that was way too hectic. Not used to download in airports. TerraSync should do it for you when you start up the game. That's what you saw when the stream first started up. Just check automatic scenery download and wait on startup like a long time. It actually works pretty well for me, but there are some problems. For example, I think there were some people recently that are reporting that Windows is causing some problems. For example, I think the antivirus solution is actually blocking rights to the documents folder for anything except, Microsoft's really exclusive nice list of apps. So, of course, FlightGear got caught on that. FlightGear isn't on that list, so if you keep your stuff in the documents folder, like we did in the last version, that might cause problems. In fact, I'm pretty sure that some of the latest like 2020.3 patches that were released are specifically to combat this problem by changing the default directory and that kind of stuff. And also, if you have OneDrive, don't put any FlightGear files into OneDrive. It might cause even more problems. So yeah, one thing I'm kind of surprised by is that, before I made the install, what is it last time? I think aircraft tutorial, that was the first one of the first to use the new thumbnail style. I actually look online to see what people are already doing with aircraft. How do people like install aircraft on YouTube? And turns out a lot of them like go directly to the repository and download it from there. Like, there's an aircraft app store right in the app, and you guys are going to this internal, ever so slight internal HTML page to download it. I'm pretty sure there's a reason why they probably there's probably too much bugs, and this thing like feels more reliable to them. But yeah. Don't you know how to freaking change airports? And sometimes if I think about like remastering TBG TFG to have an edit style of a little bit slightly closer to the install aircraft from the launcher video. I mean, it still holds up well compared to the old FlightGear series, but not exactly up to standard right now. Oops, maybe 2000. I need to get down. Watching a 31-year-old guy in 2015 giving you a tutorial. I mean, that sounds normal to me. Okay. So in terms of joysticks, I had an Extreme 3D Pro. So in fact, I have it right now, but it has some problems with the rudder axis, and I'm trying to get back to using it, but no dice. And also, I'm actually pretty good with the mouse in case of like regular flights like this. I think I was planning to do an Grand Canyon like trench run challenge for today. Not for today, obviously, but yeah, I have that plan. And for that, I'm absolutely using the Extreme 3D Pro. It provides a heck of a lot more control, and the throttle is really responsive. But for regular flights like this, I'm actually more used to the mouse, and I like go into pilot-induced oscillations a lot less with the mouse. So that's what I'm using. Okay, let me look at that. In which area is Phuket Airport is in? It's in Thailand, of course. It's around in the south end of Thailand, closer to Malaysia. Yep, get the speed back down. Looks like I'm going to be really low on energy on the way in here. Really high, I mean. Yep, that might need me to do an S-turn or two. I'm really high. Gotta search over. Yeah, generally I don't, and you can't actually like click on the map. By the way, the way you're supposed to do is to use the search box at the top when you get to the airport page. It's about time to turn there. Which is a lot easier because once you're aligned, okay, once you're aligned, it just is a matter of managing both your speed and descent rate, which is a lot simpler problem, but still you need to manage it, and it's not easy. Right now I'm actually looking pretty good. Hot, but pretty good. The trickiest thing about flying is descent landing, sure. It's like when you departure, you just have to not crash. You don't have to like fly towards a specific spot at a fairly limited range of altitudes. Rarely limited range of speed, I mean. Right now I'm getting close to dying. I need to add some speed real quick. Back on track. I need to check the windsock before I depart this time. I feel like I'm being blown around a bit. Finally back on track. The weird thing about it is that there's like trees on that edge. Probably not in real life, but you know, there's some in FlightGear, and that would absolutely crash into any jet that's found wandering through here. Float. Right, there we go. Take off again. Where where do I put lit have? I have no idea. Yeah, just watching someone debug their installation live. It's not. Whoops. Seriously. Yeah, this might be the first time where I like do something a lot more sensible. Yeah, the thing about not using terracing, you have to remember where you put it. You have to remember which airports you have downloaded or not downloaded, and you have to browse to that web interface. That's why we all use this terracing feature. As long as... Did I break a wing or something? No? Okay. Yeah, sometimes different file select dialogues like make people get confused. Time to go on another tutorial. Yeah, I really need to do backlog and see what happens in the what happens with the download scenery feature. Because I always use that one whenever possible, so I did generally look up custom scenery, but right now I don't actually use any for Phuket aside from the OSM2 City Worldwide pack. So yeah, it actually works. Yeah, terracing actually works pretty well. Again, I'm fairly high on energy. Need to get back down. So yeah, looking at things, I'm after this landing, I'm just going to taxi to hangar and call it a day. It's been 40 minutes. Oh, and a late Happy New Year, everyone. When was it? Like the 3rd? Yeah. Wish you all for a happy and healthy 2021. And hopefully, the world story won't be as turbulent and tumultuous as it was in the last year. Of course, we will still have COVID-19 to deal with, but right now, things, we kind of know our way around this thing now. I mean, not completely. We do have the mRNA vaccine, and we have, you know, our search and trace program settled. It's going to be a long fight, but hopefully we'll work our way towards winning it. Let's go down to about 800. You got any other planes from Noah Place? So, uh, 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 so the ones where I fly usually are, this Cessna C172P, and the other one is the Citation X from Path Team. I do have a couple of other planes, the Dragon, I've installed the Space Shuttle, although never flew it, never had enough time. And of course, the UFO is something I use sort of for just flying around scenery and checking on stuff. The Bluebird I also have. It's basically the UFO, but it's it's a fictional aircraft. It's like the UFO, but it has some amount of collision, which is good. Plus one time. Nose a bit down. It's about time to return. Right, 5 seconds from now. But yeah, I usually play with the Cessna C172P and the Citation X. That's plus 2 time. Yeah, I totally thought it was way too low. It's good, we're good. And we're crabbing in again. I'm coming! Soon. I got it. Yeah, hopefully we have like one go with recent ends. FG618, woo! Yeah, but by the way, that hello message is just sent by FlightGear itself. It just tells everyone else that there's a new guy in multiplayer. And exit runway real quick and take a look. I'm crabbing in, but really good otherwise. Hover. Oops. Too little too late there. But add-on didn't even think it was like a proper... Okay. Since I missed that one, I have to go to like the exit like really far down, so... I'm under the map thing and a lot in the bluish area. Kind of wonder where that could be. Actually, I can kind of see where you are once I, park this plane somewhere safe. So, but you really shouldn't spawn like under a map or something like that, because if you just see like bluish cyanish water all the way, it means you didn't install the scenery. So I hope that isn't the case. It's time. Let's take a look. Pilot list, view. Yeah. It sounds like you look like you joined under the runway for a second there. How do you decrease the graphics? Because I have a really bad old laptop from Noah Plays. So there are some basic settings from here. If your laptop is like not that old, you might want to consider turning off AOS because there is a lot of disk space. Sorry. There's a lot of shader usage, and some older GPUs can't handle that. And of course, run through a lot of these, turn off these, don't deal with these, and turn off a lot of the scenery objects. These take up a lot of triangles, so these might be. So turning these off might be pretty good. Under the map, yep. By the way, is the map actually above you, or are you seeing ocean? All I see is ocean and you floating. Yep, that means that the scenery didn't download. So, yeah. All that and the scenery didn't get added properly. What if Allah let me do it? Yeah, I already told you to use the scenery download feature because it's a lot more. I think it's really reliable for me. It might not be some people. This works really well for me, and I think it's a lot easier than managing scenery normally. I think the latest version of FlightGear, they do warn you if you accidentally select the root folder instead of the actual scenery folder in your GitHub download. But that is a thing that happens. Just a thing that happens sometimes. For now, we just keep going to somewhere that's actually a parking space. I see you, lol. Yeah. Oops. That's why you don't do high-speed turns. The repair switch somehow didn't, behave properly. Anyway, I hope you figure out the problem with the scenery installation soon. I think I saw yesterday where someone tried to, from my look, it might be possible that they are adding the root folder of the GitHub download instead of the actual add-on folder, and it fails. Of course, that's going to be really confusing because I didn't think about that back when I was, making the add-on install tutorial. I'd freaking nosedive and call it the smooth landing greatest teacher ever. Nosedives are like just dangerous, and I mean pushing into a nosedive is pretty okay, but pulling out of it in time and without breaking your wings—that's another story. Let's see how he's doing now. Not in the same. Could it happen again? I hope you. I mean, have a good one. Never mind. All right. Right. So that's something to take into consideration. All right. Right. So I'm going to call it a day, and we'll see you again in the next 2 weeks. Not sure what I'm going to do. It's probably the Mount Everest trench run, but yeah, it's probably going to be it. So, and we'll see you again next time. Have a nice night. Oh, hi. Yep.